Cody Geyer, KG Media. Just realized the stream just went live too, so shout out to everybody joining us. The intro video you guys didn't quite get to see, but I was enjoying it from my perspective. Cody, back from Slinger, back at Slinger and iRacing. How you feeling?
Yeah, it feels like I was just at Slinger, but yeah, looks like a great night for racing in virtual Slinger, Wisconsin. It's a lot cooler here in the announcers booth than it was at the racetrack last week for the Slinger Nationals, and this race is probably the one race I've been looking forward to the most on the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series season. We go 100 laps around this high bank quarter mile tonight, and it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be an awesome race. The temperature, like you said, a lot cooler here versus the actual racetrack. And even in sim, it's cooler than the conditions that they were facing last week. 70-degree air temp and 83 degrees on track. So a little bit cooler than Slinger in the real life side of things right now, but still sunny out there. They're going to have their hands full with a hot and slick racetrack. We've got about 10 minutes left in qualifying. And Cody, we were talking earlier today about potentially getting one of our drivers up in the booth from the Sim Series. We'll see if we can't grab him here in just a moment.
Yeah, so it's a officially sanctioned 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series with the Real Life 500 Sprint Car Tour, and we've had two drivers that compete in the real life side of the series, competing with us here in the Sim Series. Of course, Jackson Masinko, multi-time winner, current points leader. We've also had Rylan Gray in the 64 here on the Sim side. On the real side, he drives for Tom Brewer in the Speed Chaser 64. And so thought now would be a good time to bring him in and hear his thoughts on the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series.
Yeah, we'll see if we can grab him. I know it's a bit of a distraction trying to grab him up off of the racetrack, but I don't think he's on track at this moment, so we may have been able to grab him at a good time. Looking forward, Cody, we've got some good tracks to wrap up this season. 5 Flags and IRP, 110 more laps after tonight. Going to be a great rest of the season, but I do see Rylan Gray up in the booth, or in the waiting room. We'll get him up in the booth. Rylan Gray, driver of the Speed Chaser 64. You made some starts in the real life side of things. You've been with us, I think, every single week with the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. How are you doing, and how are you feeling heading into Slinger tonight?
I'm doing all right. Just taking every day as you should and getting prepared for USEC Sprint Week, which is starting next Thursday at IMS. But yeah, I'm just excited to be here and excited to run at Slinger. It's probably one of my best pavement tracks on here. So.
Yeah, so you compete on the real life side of the 500 Sprint Car Tour. When this was announced, in about a couple months now, just how excited were you to be able to compete on the sim side with the series?
I think it's cool for the fans. This is a way for them to interact, as everyone can get on iRacing and, race with people like me and Jackson. And I think it just helps publicize the series and the cars on iRacing a lot too. And I mean, this is the biggest series we've had with these cars in probably 6 years on here. So it's just, it's cool to see guys finally run these cars again and get, hopefully iRacing can get some attention towards them once again. And just, but yeah, it's definitely cool to run both.
Yeah, and well, since the series started here on the sim, we've only had one race at Winchester. Mother Nature just not playing nice with us this year, but just how has running the sim series, just running the sprint car here on iRacing, helped you in any way on the real life side?
I guess just mainly just throttle control and kind of just small racecraft things, I guess. The cars on here the biggest difference between the real cars and these ones are the tire model. Just these tires on iRacing, it just kind of feels like they already got 1,000 laps on them, and compared to real life where you can really lay into the throttle and use the rubber to help you. In these, you gotta figure out other ways with the setup to get you drive, because you feel really outside of it.
For sure, the cars definitely do not drive very comfortably. I think you definitely don't have a lot of grip in a real life sprint car, especially a non-wing. You're not able to get the throttle down instantly, but like you said, it's definitely a struggle to get the power down, and like you said, the tires aren't quite the grippiest. So that being said, 100 laps at Slinger tonight, what are your biggest keys to the race? What are you going to try to do to put yourself in the best position at the end of 100 laps?
I think here, just reading the lines, or it's not really reading, but feeling out where the speed comes in is really important here, because eventually it'll move up to the middle, I think. And if you could find it before anybody else, I think you can grab a few cars. But I think qualifying is going to be really important. And it's tough because these guys are really good qualifiers, and that's something me and my team have struggled with all season. Is this fixed setup deal, and it's just something we're not used to. It's not what our normal setups are like, so it's kind of been a battle for us to figure them out pretty quickly, and it kind of hurts us, puts us on the struggle bus when we don't qualify good and have to work our way up to the field. But hopefully tonight, it's a place that we've ran the iRacing Little 5 at, we've ran a bunch of officials and been really solid, so definitely the place me and Jonathan have the most laps at, and just see how we do tonight.
All right, well, before we let you get back to the seat, we'll let you give a shout out to any sponsors, anybody that helps you get to the racetrack in the 500 Sprint Car Tour and allows you to do the Sim Series.
Yeah, Speed Chasers are just, I got to thank Tom Brewer for the opportunity. Probably show him this later. Hi, Tom. And then, Benick Enterprises, just everybody that helps us out with our operation, Luke Eckert as well, and my family for the big help as well. Just everyone that helps out to get me out there. It's super fun. It's just something new for me. And then for the iRacing side, just Aaron Trotter, Jonathan Schaefer, Anthony Woodhall, James Turnbull, everybody on the team, Art of Speed and Precision Tuning Graphics.
Well, it's going to be a fun 100 laps here tonight. Hopefully you can have a good run, and we wish you luck. Hopefully you can execute in qualifying. I know you said that was your struggle bus, but tonight the pressure is going to be on. Single car, all eyes going to be on that number 64 machine. Hopefully we can talk to you later on.
Yep, thank you guys.
You're welcome. Well, Cody, that was driver of the number 64 machine, Rylan Gray. He's had couple good runs this season. I think he's still looking for that first podium finish in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, but he's had some good runs. He ran 4th at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, that race that we went green to checkered, but still trying for that first podium. He's, I think, going to be a strong one here tonight. Like he said, the Little 5 on iRacing, I ran that race with him, and he was a competitor all throughout the run.
Yeah, currently sitting 8th in points, just behind Brandon Atkinson, and he's had some strong runs. He's had some finishes that hasn't shown how strong he's run. So coming to a track that he's comfortable at and has had some success at. Of course, like you said, ran up front during most of the Little 500 here a couple months ago. So be exciting to see how he does tonight.
For sure. And I've just noticed that I have a setting disabled that needs to be enabled for this broadcast and for the best production quality for the viewers at home. So we're going to take a quick step away a minute before single car qualifying is underway here at the Slinger Super Speedway. Myself alongside Cody Guy are going to be back in just one moment. Okay, we're back. Had to turn off voice chat because there was no way I was going to be able to listen to the drivers yapping while trying to talk to you and to the viewers at home, Cody. We've got single car qualifying. This is going to be something unique. It's been a while since I have announced single car qualifying on iRacing, and also just looking at how close this field is. We look at the lap times now. The field is kind of slowed down. Catalone has held that 9.317 for quite some time, but everybody's still just so close on times. I think it's going to be a very exciting one.
Yeah, close on times, close quarters here at the quarter mile. That is Slinger Super Speedway. And that is a recipe for what could be an exciting race. And I'm also excited for single car qualifying. It's my first time seeing single car qualifying here on the iRacing service. So as practice now done, and we're almost there to qualifying.
Yeah, we're going to have to see how this qualifying session goes. This was kind of a last-minute decision. Not last minute, we decided it this morning, but the execution of it, I think, may be a little bit last minute. But qualifying going to take place. We are going to invert our practice times to get the lineup for qualifying. So here is how they will qualify. Adam Fulford is our race control here tonight. He's not going to be making an effort in qualifying, but Mitch Drunowski going to be the first car out. He'll be followed by Christian Peterson and Connor Knowlton, a couple drivers that have had success in different divisions this season. Christian Peterson, our most recent winner in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. He won at South Boston. Man, Cody, did you miss a good race when you were in Slinger? I'm sure both experiences were fun, but Peterson was working that outside lane.
Yeah, and I was able to catch some of the race from last week on YouTube earlier today, and he was able to make that outside work. And Peterson's had some strong runs, but it was cool to finally see him break through, get that first win of the season. Of course, got the win over Jackson Masinko, who leads the points.
Yeah, those two had a close battle last week, and Masinko ended up coming home in the second spot. Andrew Bogues had a good run in the 17 machine. Started in the 8th position, finished 3rd. He's been getting better throughout the season, so I'm excited to see what he can do, as it looks like the cars are getting lined up. First driver out. First driver out on the racetrack. One of the later entries into the series out of Agawam, Massachusetts, the RaceCPI.com Chassis Pro number 7. This is Mitch Drunowski. Drunowski on his first time around. We'll see what he can do. These drivers are going to have all 4 qualifying laps. So first lap time, 10.8. First time around for Drunowski.
Pretty sure this might be his debut with the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. He goes into the 9s lap 2 with a 9.956.
Yeah, second lap time better right there. He'll have one final lap, but scrapes the wall. Does the number 7 of Drunowski. I think that's going to affect his lap time. Here on iRacing, if you do tap the wall or give it a little kiss, you do invalidate your lap time. So unfortunate break there. And Drunowski going to be the first car. He will be a 9.872, and he'll bring it over into the crossover. Next driver out onto the racetrack. Your most recent winner in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, driver of the number 75, the Trick Chassis 918 Custom Designs, driver out of New Canaan, Connecticut. This is Christian Peterson, one of 2 75 machines here tonight. First lap time for Peterson, 9.631, jumps up to the top of the board. Already faster than Drunowski, going to try to find more on his second laps.
Yes, he'll go down to the 9.58, lap number 2, as he comes and takes the white flag. 9.541, just a little bit faster. Peterson picking up the win last week. Going to be exciting to see what that does for him the rest of the season.
Yeah, and he does pick it up just a smidge more on lap number 9.530. The final time for Christian Peterson. Next driver out onto the racetrack. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks in the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Series, or 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. Driver out of New Canaan, or Hebron, Connecticut, rather. The JTT Racing, KST Graphics. Twisted Speed, number 75 of Connor Knowlton.
Yeah, Knowlton back after a couple weeks away. Does have a top 5 finish here earlier in the season as he completes another lap. He's second with a 9.583, not far off Peterson for the top spot.
Yeah, final time through turns 3 and 4, trying to knock Peterson off of the top spot. His final time around, quick time, 9.481. Connor Knowlton jumps up to the top of the board. This driver qualified on pole last week at the South Boston Speedway. Another late entry into the series, a driver from Cincinnati, Ohio in the Wedgwood Motorsports. Number 98, this is Sabin Bybant. Bybant looking for another good qualifying effort. He was, like I mentioned, pole at South Boston last week. We'll see what he can do on lap number 1.
And Bybant, one of those drivers, he got a late start, but he's ran strong every week that he's been with us here in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, driving that look-alike to the Doran Beat 77 that you saw Cody Swanson win the Little 500 with. But he has a couple podium finishes, and leaderboard not showing his time, but we'll see where he ends up at after that qualifying run.
Yeah, I am not sure what happened there. He didn't get a time. Trouble for Sabin Bybant. I'm not sure what exactly his issue was there, but Bybant not going to get a lap time. That's going to bring some trouble for him, I think, later in the run. Is Jeremiah Woods in the 222 machine on track now? He's having some connection issues. Hasn't really been able to be seen all night long, but Woods in the 222, driver out of Cromwell, Indiana. Going to try to get his qualifying laps in here, but as you can see, connection not the greatest for the 222 right this moment.
Yeah, sponsored by New Paris Speedway and Top Row Racing Media. A flagman over at the New Paris Speedway on Saturday nights. And, yeah, having some connection problems there, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, not entirely sure what has gone on. I don't see anybody currently lined up on the exit of pit road either. I think Woods finishes his qualifying run. Not sure what is up next. I think drivers are actually having to manually make their way from their pit stalls is the issue that is happening. The next driver on the racetrack, the driver out of Yorktown, Indiana, in the Levi Photography Mary Stem Crop Performance number 28. This is Carter Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, his first lap time, 10.263. That was his warm-up lap. This will be his first lap of record. 9.830, third quick after lap 1.
And Hollingsworth driving that paint scheme similar to defending 500 Sprint Car Tour champion Dakota Armstrong, as lap 2 will slow down way high in 3 and 4. He'll try it again. Maybe he's trying to find something for later tonight in the 100-lap main event, but qualifying, he's still stuck at a 9.830 third quick as he comes to the checkered flag.
Yeah, had all kinds of wheel in that car. 9.557 does pick it up quite a bit, but he is going to stay in that third spot. So third for Carter Hollingsworth. Next driver out onto the racetrack in the number 20 machine. Had some tough luck this season. The driver out of Cambridge, Ontario, in the Ream number 20. This is Josh Batista. Oh, hang on to it. Way up the racetrack there. Me and you both had the same reaction, Cody. I thought he had the tire barrier for sure.
Yeah, that got really close. And of course, going to throw that lap away. He gets on the apron through 3 and 4. And Batista struggling with this lap, with his qualifying runs. He goes up to fourth quick with a 9.851.
Yeah, final lap in qualifying right there. 9.821 is the lap that he will keep. And he will bring it home fourth quick after qualifying. Got him lined up in the infield there. We'll see who the next driver out onto the racetrack is. I believe it is going to be the number 17 of Andrew Bogues out of Disco, Michigan. the Eddie Sachs Racing entry.
Yes.
Good finish for him last week.
Bogus, a competitor on the Tri-State Sprint Circuit. Stahl's Motor and Music Experience, USA Earthworks, North Star Aggregates, Awesome Racewear, Motor City Pawnbrokers, Bob the Cooler Company, Rhino Power Sports Supplements, all on that 17 as he goes fourth quick lap 1 with a 9.639.
Yeah, first lap has been the success for a couple drivers, but most everybody has improved throughout qualifying. Bogue's got 2 more laps. He's going to come to the white flag right here. Currently fourth quick, 9.627. That lap slows down just a bit. He's got 1 more lap to pick up the pace. What can Andrew Bogues do? Out of 4 across the stripe. And he will keep, oh, maybe not, 9.512. Jumps up to second quick. P2 for the 17.
Yeah, and he's another one riding right up against the wall. You don't see that on the real life side of things here at Slinger, so it's really interesting to see some of these guys doing that as well. As up next in the number 18 out of Eldora, Ohio, driving the 500 Sprint Cast, marknews.org, Brad Hayes Performance, or Brad Hayes Racing, that's Noah Longyear.
Yeah, Longyear, one of the drivers looking for a good qualifying run here tonight. Last week finished in the 10th position at the South Boston Speedway. He qualified 16th. He wants to start a little bit closer to the front here tonight. We'll see what he can do. Coming to 2 laps to go. Currently a 9.747 puts him P5 out of 7 cars that have a time. Longyear coming to the white looking for a little bit more.
Yeah, and he's still fifth quick with a 9.720. Running that inside line like you would normally see. As he comes to take the checkered flag, he'll gain a spot. He'll go up to fourth quick with a 9.530.
Yeah, just barely able to leapfrog Carter Hollingsworth in the 28 to take that 4th position. We've got 7 cars that have qualified so far. Next driver out onto the racetrack. We talked to him just a little bit ago. Driver out of Greenfield, Indiana in the Precision Motorsports Art of Speed Precision Art Intent. Number 64, that is Rylan Gray.
Rylan Gray.
First lap time, 9.757. 6 quick, lap number 1.
He's coming to complete lap number 2. Laps go by quick. He'll pick something up. 9.753, he remains 6th quick. A real-life competitor on the 500 Sprint Car Tour, as we mentioned earlier, is faster. Lap 3, 9.743. He still sits quick, and he'll take the checkered flag.
Yeah, looking for a big pickup, lap number 4. It's a big pickup, but not going to be big enough. Still, P6 for the Speed Chaser 64, and he brought it down then there a little bit faster than some of the other drivers did. Gray in the 64 completes his qualifying run. Next driver out onto the racetrack. He just got back from Slinger, I think today, this morning. This is Matthew Elzey Jr. out of Otsego, Michigan. Ran a front-wheel drive at Slinger, now has to deal with a sprint car.
Yeah, the quality graphics, 14.8 Salon. Oh, sideways out of 2. He saves it, continues going. That's not going to be good for lap number 2. Might hurt lap number 3 as well, but Elzey finished 2nd in the Small Car Nationals last night in the front-wheel drive with the National Compact Touring Series.
Even with that struggle on that first lap, 9.624, 7th quick. We'll see if he can get a little bit more coming to the checkered flag. Final time, looks like he's going to keep that 9.624. Elzey, 7th quick in the 27. Was able to hang on to that car, but just barely. That was sketchy on the exit of turn number 2.
As looks like up next, that's going to be the 91 of Jonathan Schaefer in the Precision Motorsports Los Pollos Hermanos Beast Chassis number 91. Just announced today he's going to be competing in Friday night's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park in the number 69, driving for Garage 66. It's a nice opportunity for the Ohio driver.
For sure. It's going to be fun to watch both he and Jackson Masinko go head-to-head in the Truck Series. We've seen him go head-to-head here all season long, and to be able to see that in the Truck Series on Friday night, it's pretty cool. I'm glad that both of those drivers have that opportunity, and we're going to be able to watch them and cheer them on with a little bit of hometown hero mentality. But second quick for Jonathan Schaefer, 9.491. Good lap from the 91.
Just missed fast time by a 100th of a second. Connor Knowlton holding down the pole with a 9.481. And up next, it's the current 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series points leader in the 24 Brad Hayes Racing JTM Food Group Brad Hayes Racing Machine out of Cincinnati, Ohio. It's front row Jackson Masinko.
Yeah, Masinko also going to be making a start in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at IRP on Friday night. We'll see if he can pick up a couple spots here in qualifying. Currently 7th on the board. Coming to the white flag here, looking for a good qualifying effort. Up to 4th, 9.528. Final time for Masinko. Can he put it on the front row? And across the stripe, quick time, 9.476. Jackson Masinko jumps up to the top of the board in the 24. We've got one driver left to qualify, Cody. It is Zach Catalone in the number 79. Fastest driver in practice earlier. Going to come around to take the green flag, and he'll go for 4 laps, trying to beat a 9.476.
Yeah, the EPI machine out of New York calls Oswego area home as Catalone 3 wins on the season. Too many poles to count as he'll come complete lap number 1 using that far outside lane like a lot of other drivers have. And yeah, lap 1, 10.178. That puts him slowest so far.
Yeah, this is the white flag right here. 8th quick for Zach Catalone. White flag, final time. He's going to have to pick it up quite a bit. Money lap for the 79. And let's see if he can jump up, and he does! Quick time on the final lap of qualifying, a 9.451. And Catalone goes top of the board. And I believe that will be all of the drivers, so we'll get them back to the pits, and we should be ready to roll. Jeremiah Woods, Sabin Bybit, unfortunately did not get a time.
Yeah, more things staying the same with the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. Is Zach Catalone setting fast time honors, will start on the pole once again with a 9.451. Jackson Masinko second quick. He'll roll off from the front row, trying to hold on to his points lead with just 2 races left to go after tonight. And both those races at tracks that fit Masinko's style more than these high-banked bull rings. Is Connor Knowlton, Jonathan Schaefer, and Andrew Bogus rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, we're going to get this track cleared off, get some of these drivers back to the pits, and then we will be ready to go for 100 laps here, Cody. No last chance qualifier or anything of that nature to deal with, and I think everybody is up off of the racetrack just about. I think Masinko and Catalone may have been chatting about their qualifying runs still, a little bit late to the party. But everybody back to the pits. We're going to take a quick step away. We'll get everything sorted, make sure the lineup's all set before we go racing for 100 laps here at the Slinger Super Speedway. You guys won't want to miss it. 100 laps of sprint car action here at Slinger coming at you in just one moment. Myself and Cody Guy are going to be back in 1 second on the WD Broadcasting Network.
KG Media is your home for all things photography, race day social media, and more. Cody Geyer brings more than a decade of experience working with the top brands in short track racing. From individual photos to full race days, social media to PR, KG Media can make your race team, racetrack, or touring series stand out. For more information, go to marknews.org or visit KG Media on Facebook.
Alrighty, folks, we're back here on the WD Broadcasting Network. Cody, it is just about go time here at the Slinger Super Speedway. We've got, I believe it's going to be 15 cars bringing us to the green. Jeffrey Stanton, I don't know if he's going to be able to make the show or not. We'll have to see. He's a little bit delayed. He had a chore to do before the race. I think that's what would be the best way to put it. He had a chore to take care of prior to the race. He told us in the drivers' meeting. But hopefully Stanton can make it here tonight. He was another driver that was competitive in the iRacing Little 500 a couple months back.
Yeah, and we're talking about tough breaks for Saban Bybent and Jeremiah Woods. Their qualifying times not being registered, as Bybent is on top of the board here in warm-ups. Not sure what that means for the race, but I mean, it's not nothing. Running a 9.4 in qualifying, that would have put him right up there towards the front of the field.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough because he's going to be a fast car that has a lot of speed, but it's just not going to be able to use that track position or that speed early with the amount of track position that he's going to have to make up. If he would have maybe missed the lap or didn't qualify the best, qualified still top 5, it'd be a different story, but going to be rolling off from the back of the grid. I believe we have 15 cars starting this one, depending on whether or not Jeffrey Stanton is able to make it. But the warm-up's over. It's officially go time here at Slinger, Cody.
Yeah, this race been the one race I've been looking forward to this entire 500 Sprint Car Tour Series Sim Series season, and Slinger being one of my favorite racetracks. So let's take a look at the starting lineup, and let's get this party started.
Yeah, on the front row, another pole position. He's picked up quite a few already this season. Currently second in the point standings. Driver of the number 79, that is Zach Catalone, and to his outside, Front row, Jackson Masinko in the number 24, going to try to go back to victory lane here at Slinger.
In row 2 on the inside, in the 75, it's Connor Knowlton. And to his outside, going to make a Truck Series start Friday night. That's Jonathan Schaefer in the 91.
Yeah, the outside lane for the first 2 rows is NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series drivers. Crazy to say in a iRacing stream, but move back to row number 3. Driver who finished 3rd last week in the Eddie Sachs Racing number 17, that is Andrew Bogues. And to his outside, winner last week at the South Boston Speedway in the Trick Chassis 75P, that's Christian Peterson.
Row 4 on the inside, Jackson Masinko's Brad Hayes Racing teammate in the 18, that's Noah Longier. And to his outside in the 28, driving the Dakota Armstrong Special, it's Carter Hollingsworth.
Row number 5 on the inside in the Precision Motorsports number 64. We talked to him earlier on. That's Rylan Gray out of Greenfield, Indiana. To his outside, out of Otsego, Michigan, in the LZ Racing Team number 27. That's Matthew Elzy Jr.
In row 6, the 20, Josh Batista. And there we go. And to his outside, making his series debut, it's Mitch Drunowski.
Drunowski in the 7, going to come to the green, and we are underway here at Slinger. Already through the first set of corners just that quickly. Jackson Masinko from the outside lane gets the jump from the start. He's going to lead lap number 1 as they work down through turns 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 once again. Already through 2 laps here, Cody. It's going to be fast. It's going to be quick. Jackson Masinko out to an early lead.
And Masinko's trying to pull away just a little bit, able to do so. As further back, Saban Bivent trying to work his way through the field after a qualifying mishap. The worst single file throughout the first 7 or 8 cars here early.
As they work down into turns 1 and 2, you see Masinko holding the advantage just by about a car length. Carter Hollingsworth to the outside of Christian Peterson. Peterson able to get by on the inside lane. Up into the 8th position, back behind Mitch Drunowski in the number 7 machine, trying to work his way forward. But things spread out here early. We're 7 laps in out of 100.
Yeah, and Catalone catching that 24 machine, trying to make the outside work, see what he can do. Still only 8 laps into this one. Is just behind him, Bogus to the inside, and Knowlton trying to get on the podium.
Yeah, Andrew Bogus back to the inside, trying to go back to the podium for the 2nd week in a row. Moves underneath Connor Knowlton. Knowlton going to have to give way for now. He'll fall back to the 4th spot as up in front of him. Masinko had a charge from Zach Catalone. Catalone was starting to put a little pressure on for that race lead here early. 10 laps in, 90 laps to go at Slinger.
Yeah, and just further back, Lanier able to crack the top 5 here early. Schaefer now trying to find a way around him. Rylan Gray riding just behind him. As got a couple strong movers up early.
Yeah, Noah Longyear up into the top 5. He started 7th, trying to get his best finish of the season. Doing a good job keeping that car straight on corner exit. That's the thing in this sprint car. If you can drive into the banking and do that big cut down like you see Noah Longyear doing, just using all of the power down the straightaway, he's making up some ground and closing in on Connor Knowlton for that 4th spot. It would not surprise me one bit to see him battling up there soon.
Yes, meanwhile, we go back up front. It's about the same story as it's been for the last 10 laps or so. Catalone within a car length of Masinko. He'll try to go to the inside down the front stretch, and he'll try to get a run into one. Masinko able to use the outside to keep him at bay.
Yeah, it's going to be so hard for Catalone to pass, and even if he does drive down to the inside, it's going to be tough for him to keep that drive off of the corner. I think Masinko is going to be able to hold him off from that outside lane, at least the first couple times around. Obviously, we're going to have to see how it goes. But Catalone right up to the back bumper, and now takes a peek to the inside, side by side for the race lead. Masinko able to pull ahead down the backstretch, but once again into turn number 3, here comes Zach Catalone.
Yeah, and Masinko able to clear him momentarily. Andrew Bogus just behind him, waiting to strike. Is Masinko able to clear Catalone? He resumes with the lead.
Yeah, the outside lane definitely looks like the place to be early on. The inside, just I don't know if they have the cut quite yet to roll and wrap around the inside lane. But Catalone definitely has a little bit more speed so far than the 24 of Masenko, but Masenko knows that there's a long way to go. 100 laps here at Slinger. They may be going very fast, under 10-second laps, but 100 laps is still a long time, whatever way you look at it. There's a lot of time for things to go wrong and either driver to make a mistake, as we're now a quarter of the way into this one. 25 laps in, 75 to go.
Yeah, the top three starting to put some distance in between each other. Behind for top five and on back is Schaefer looking to the inside of Lanier. Lanier going way up the track, trying to use that third or fourth groove, and he'll be able to clear Schaefer using it, as we got a three, make that a four-car battle for fifth.
Yeah, Longyear able to hold off Jonathan Schaefer, who looked down to the inside. Longyear really figuring it out in turns 1 and 2. You see him driving through that banking, just keeping that car motoring down the straightaway. I'm really liking that big run, kind of when he turns down the racetrack and drives down the banking. That's what is going to keep the 18 up at the front here, if he can keep doing that all race long.
Yeah, laps are quickly going off, being clicked off, as we're already 31 laps into this. And Ryland Gray looking to the inside of Schaefer for sixth. As Lanier starting to put distance on those two as they now battle for sixth.
Yeah, as soon as a driver starts to battle or starts to put pressure on you, it immediately takes some of that pace away as you get knocked out of your rhythm. But here comes Jonathan Schaefer to the inside of Noah Longyear, has to check up there out of 2. Nearly contact that time as Ryland Gray takes a peek down to the inside. These guys duking it out for the final spot in the top 5 as things up ahead begin to calm down, at least for the moment.
And that's just old school Slinger quarter mile short track racing. Not much room to race, and things happen quickly. As Gray goes to the inside of Schaefer for sixth, he was able to pull even in the middle of the corner. Schaefer using that outside line, he gets way loose. Well, Mayev ran to the back of Lanier. He's going to lose sixth and possibly seventh to Bybit.
What a crazy save right there. That's not an easy save to hang on to that race car, the angle that it was pointed and kind of where he was at in the corner. Schaefer did a great job keeping that car underneath him. Everybody does a good job around him, giving him space, and now he sits in the 7th position. He's got Saban Bybit to his back bumper. Remember, that 98 machine did not get a qualifying lap scored, so he started from the tail end of this field, already up into the 8th position. He's your biggest mover so far, up 6 spots from 14th.
Yeah, now we're racing wild for 5th on back as Gray gets to the inside of Lanier. Meanwhile, up front, Bogus trying to throw the slide job for 2nd. Can't get by Catalone as we are under yellow, and we got cars all over the place on the back stretch.
Yep, we have got them tangled up down the back straightaway. As soon as I cut the camera, I knew cutting it there would be a risk, but we'll see what happened. I think Noah Longyear and Ryland Gray maybe made contact. Longyear on the top. Gray was down to the inside. Oh, and just a tiny little piece of contact there sends the 18 around. Gray goes spinning down into 3. Jonathan Schaefer and Saban Bybit collected as well. I think they may have some damage.
And with these sprint cars, it doesn't really take a whole lot of contact for chaos to ensue. As it looked like Gray got loose off of 4, was really low entrance into 1, and was trying to go up the track, and Noah Longyear on corner exit, and contact was made. And just from some of the wrecks that we've seen in the 500 Sim Series this season, that one could have and probably should have been a lot worse than what it was.
Yeah, that's not a good spot to catch a car and make contact, as we're already back racing the caution flag. Race control wasting no time getting that one sorted out as we're back underway. Masenko, your race leader. Catalone 2nd. Andrew Bogus right there running 3rd. ready to pounce for the race lead, but here comes Catalone to the inside of Jackson Masinko for the top spot.
Catalone back to the inside as we see Bogus blink there for a second. Catalone able to inch ahead. Can he clear Masinko out of 4? He will. Zach Catalone to the lead just before halfway.
Yeah, new race leader now. Andrew Bogues in the 17 going to try to follow Catalone and move to the inside of Masinko. Now Bogues to the second spot, but Masinko strong on the outside line, not able to give it up just yet as they nearly make contact through turns 1 and 2, but that time Andrew Bogus going to shoot back up, but Masinko slide job into 3. Wow. Hang on to it. Masinko back to 3rd, Bogus to 2nd.
Yeah, slide jobs and crossover city in Slinger, Wisconsin. Move Bogus up to 2nd. That'll allow Catalone to check out just a little bit. As meanwhile, we got Connor Knowlton in 4th in a side-by-side battle for 5th between Bybent and Gray.
Yeah, Saban Bybent doing a good job in that 98. Trying to move up 10 positions. He's already up into the top 5 if he can complete this pass on Ryland Gray. And now he's got Connor Knowlton up in front of him. I'd keep an eye on this 98 of Saban Bybent. He's working his way to the front. He's got Jackson Masinko just 2 cars up in front of him. The driver who has led the most laps so far in this one, just past the halfway point. 46 laps remain.
Yeah, and remember, during warm-ups, Bybent ran a time that could have put him on the front row for this race. So he's had to pass a lot of cars already into the top 5, now working 75 and Knowlton for 4th. Not quite able to clear him into 3. Looks like he'll be able to out of 4. Has moved Bybent up to 4th, but meanwhile, Catalone, see ya, goodbye.
Yeah, and one of the things that if you are Catalone, if you're Bogus, you have to be looking at in your mirror, that 98 machine is not only driving up through the field, he's making passes on the bottom, and he's doing it quickly. He's figured something out on how to get that car rotated and drove up off the corner, and now he's got a battle with Jackson Masinko for the final spot on the podium.
Yeah, 1 caution, and that could completely change the outlook of this race as Bybent to the inside of Masinko trying to take over the 3rd spot. They're side by side at the line and through 1 and 2. Masinko trying to hang strong on the outside, but Bybent making moves throughout the field.
Yeah, Masinko making it hard on the 98 of Saban Bybent, not making his travel through the field very easy. But the 98 continues to show the nose down to the inside. Masinko, though, able to just keep that momentum on the outside lane. You can see he pulls ahead. Now they're both driving up towards the back bumper of Andrew Bogues, as Bogues maybe burnt something up in the 17, as now Zach Catalone leads by 1.5 seconds, as back behind Connor Knowlton in the 75 goes for a slide, and that brings out the caution.
Yeah, it looked like that could have been coming for a number of laps now. Looked like Peterson was just sideways out of the corner, car getting loose on him. But this will bunch the field back up, and one person who probably wanted to see that caution more than anyone else is Saban Bybent.
For sure. You know that 98 has been charging through the field. Let's watch what happened to Knowlton one more time. Just a little bobble center of the corner there, and as soon as that car bobbled, it was right around. I think he may have hit the bump down through turns 3 and 4. Go on board. Well, try to go on board one more time. You can see Knowlton get out in there a little bit loose, and then that bobble right there up over the bump, and right around goes the 75. So second caution flag of the evening. We are 66 laps in here, Cody. Still over 30 laps remain. Going to be an exciting one to the finish. It'll be Catalone, Bogues, and Masinko, your top 3, but keep an eye on that number 98 of Saban Bybent. If he's able to get up to the 3rd spot and get around Andrew Bogus for 2nd, Catalone may have his work cut out for him. The green flag is back out. Here comes Andrew Bogues with a challenge to the inside right underneath Zach Catalone. Battle for the race lead on the first lap of the restart.
Otis with a huge jump on the restart. Now trying to make the inside work as Catalone there on the outside. We're still side by side into 3. Catalone with a big run out of 4. He'll clear Bogus.
Yeah, Zach Catalone, I think, got caught by surprise there, had to use up that outside lane, and he now takes the race lead back. And now for the second spot, Bogus up the racetrack. Sabin Bybit to the inside of Jackson Masinko for third. The 98 not done battling just yet. Last week's winner, Christian Peterson, right there as well, battling for that final spot in the top 5. Oh, and back behind, Batista in the 20, gets sideways, drives that car down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's got to recover, and he falls back to the 11th spot on the track. Tough break. But it's 30 laps to go.
Crazy save by Batista, but we stay green. Is the battle for second heating up between Bogus, Masinko, and Bybet, 3 real-life sprint car drivers. Catalone continues to drive away into the night as move Masinko into second. Bogus goes high. He'll fall all the way back to 4th. Might lose 5th to Peterson here.
Yeah, a little mistake there through turns 3 and 4 allowed everybody to swoop down to the inside, and now Peterson knocks on the door. There's Carter Hollingsworth as well in the 28. He wants a top 5. This time by 26 laps remain, and we've got a car around. That's Christian Peterson in the 75. Bends it out down the front straightaway. I don't know if there was contact there or if he just got a little bit loose. But Peterson, who is running inside of the top 5, loops it around and under caution for the 3rd time.
As we'll go to the KG Media replay. And battling with Andrew Bogus, who had fallen, lost a couple spots. It looks like just a little bit of contact, middle of the front stretch, just enough to send Peterson around, as he nearly takes out the pace car as well.
Yeah, luckily the pace car is a ghost. I really wish that iRacing had a solid pace car, so you could actually go out there and hit the pace car, in the words of the late Harry Hogg. This field gets ready to go.
That Catalone, once he took the lead there just before halfway, he's been borderline untouchable, save for the last restart when Bogus had a huge run going into 1. But Catalone able to hold them off and continues to lead the way.
Yeah, we'll try it again right here. Catalone, your race leader. Masinko in second, going to have to get a big jump, but not able to that time as we come back racing with 25 laps to go. Bybent to the 3rd spot, but here comes Andrew Bogus right to the inside, battle for 3rd. That allows Masinko to open up some ground in between him and Bogus for 3rd. Now Bybent crosses back over underneath Andrew Bogus, and Masinko all kinds of sideways out of 4. What a save from the BHR 24 machine to keep that 2nd position. Now Sabin Bybent looks to the inside. 22 laps remain. Bybent to the inside for 2nd. Can he make this pass, and can he drive up to your race leader?
Bybent trying to take the 2nd spot after starting at the tail all the way to the apron that time. So we have less than 20 laps to go, as it's now a 3-car battle for 2nd as Andrew Bogus joins the battle for that runner-up spot. And Bogus with a big run on the outside. He might be able to clear Bybent here. Bybent with a big run on the inside. 3-car war and enter Carter Hollingsworth into the top 5.
Yeah, it looks like it's just hard for some of these drivers to maintain their run. Just looks very loose at times, but as all of this is happening, your race leader, Zach Catalone, is walking away. 1.5 now the gap, as Masinko able to hold off Andrew Bogus for the 2nd spot, but Bogus back to the inside. It definitely looks like the outside lane is better in turns 3 and 4, but the inside, you're able to drive back to the bottom through turns 1 and 2 and have a lot better of a run than I was thinking. We're inside of 15 laps to go. 14 remain for Zach Catalone, and now Sabin Bybent to the inside of Andrew Bogus for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, great racing for second on back as Masinko, Bogus, and Bybit putting on the show here at Slinger as Catalone continues on his Monday night cruise. Is just behind them, side by side, 4th, between Schaefer and Hollingsworth as well. So great racing going on throughout the field here late.
Oh, and we've got a caution flag out. I did not see what exactly happened. The caution flag is out. Oh, and Ryland Gray into the 64 went around. I think there was contact with Christian Peterson in the 72. Try and get this again right here. Oh, it looked like the 75 just had a big run back behind Gray, and I don't know if, I just don't think he expected Ryland Gray to check up so abruptly. But that'll re-rack us, restack us. Masinko holds the second spot. What can he do on this restart, Cody, to give himself the best opportunity possible to try and get back around Zach Catalone?
He's just going to have to get the better jump on this restart. And after a lap or two, Catalone just drives away like he's got an extra 50 horsepower. So if Masinko wants to win this, he's going to have to take the lead on this restart as we're through 3 and 4 and back to green, and another strong restart from Catalone.
Yeah, good launch from the 79 this time by 10 laps remain. 10 to go here at Slinger. And now for the second spot, Andrew Bogus to the inside of Masinko. Masinko trying to hold him off on the top, but Bogus to the inside, going to take the position through turns 1 and 2. Masinko drives back on the top side. 8 laps remain at the line. Battle still on for that second spot. Andrew Bogus doing everything he can to drive around Masinko, but Masinko able to hold that top lane so well on the exit of the corner.
Yeah, Masinko still holding strong on the outside. Bogus, however, not going away on the inside. Big run through 1 and 2. Almost able to clear the 24 down the backstretch, but we continue on side by side as Saban Bybit trying to find a way around both of them.
Yeah, the battle on for the third spot as they come back to 4 laps to go. 4 laps remain here at Slinger. Zach Catalone has all but won this race, but who will finish in the second spot? Masinko trying to hold off Andrew Bogus. 3 to go this time. Saban Bybit runs in the 4th spot just behind him, wants a spot on the podium. Popsicle sticks in the air. Oh, and Bogus in the 17 goes around. The 17 of Andrew Bogus goes around. Was running in the 3rd spot. I don't know if there was, I think there was contact with Bybit in the 98. But let's watch this back once again. Try and go back a lap.
Bogus did everything he could to try to take that second spot away from Masinko. Looks like Bybit with a strong run coming out of the corner and just barely got into the tail tank of Bogus. And tough break for that 17 car. He was on his way to a podium finish.
For sure. Second week in a row, too. The 17 was going to finish on the podium, it looked like. But that's tough for Bogus, who was improving in the points. Looked like the luck was starting to go back in his direction. But after contact with Bybit, Bogus going to be at the tail end of the field, which will give Jackson Masinko one final shot to size up that Catalone here. Green flag is back out. Green-white checkered time here at Slinger. Down the back straightaway they go. Into the white flag. Final lap for Zach Catalone. As long as he does not make a mistake here, he is all good to the checkered. This time, what? The fourth time this season, Zach Catalone, your winner in the YourBigPlans.com 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. Jackson Masinko ends up in the second spot. What a celebration. I don't think he could have done that again if he tried. Little wall tap with the roof. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've seen that with an asphalt car while celebrating a win. But Zach Catalone, fourth victory of the year. Masinko somehow, through all that battling, able to finish second, and Sabin Byman, with possibly the run of the year so far, he finishes third.
Yeah, what a great result from him to rebound from that trouble in qualifying and take the third position when it was all said and done. Let's grab a word from our winners, or winner and top three. We'll do things a little backwards this week. We're going to grab our third place finisher first. Start back to front and get Sabin Byman up into the broadcast booth. Sabin Byman, you drove from the 14th spot on the grid up 11 positions and found yourself on the podium when it was all said and done. Tell me about your run at Slinger.
Yeah, honestly, I felt pretty good, kind of just hanging it out on the bottom. But the first 20 or so laps, I was kind of worried I wasn't going to go anywhere. Like Noah, I want to say, was running 7th, and we were kind of in a little train, and I thought that was all she wrote. But got pretty good running the bottom. Then once I got to Jack, it just got too hard to get him clear. I felt like it kind of went away out of 4, and then that was just fun racing the top. Like, Zach was gone, but 2, 3, 4 were going at it hard. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked at it yet, but I want to say sorry to Bogus if I screwed him over. I just thought it happened so fast. I didn't really know what happened there. But yeah, that was fun, and I really wasn't very confident after rolling off last, but that was fun.
Yeah, you were showing speed there all race, and with that drive through the field, and like you said, things happen here at Slinger so quickly. Just how do you balance having to drive your way back to the front while saving tires and all that while clicking off 9-second laps?
Honestly, it's like I didn't really realize how tight it was until Bogus and I switched spots, and he was going side by side with Jack. Like it's pretty darn close. We got pretty lucky that nothing really happened the whole race. We went green for a while. Then running side by side with Jack was cool. Like it's been a while since we've gotten to race hand in hand with each other in real life, but that felt like we were running go-karts when we were 8 or 9 years old, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that definitely looked like a fun run between the two of you. It was awesome to see that car drive up through the field. When you had the trouble in qualifying, I didn't know if we'd be able to see you up at the front, but you proved me wrong. You made that 98 machine efficient here tonight and found yourself on the podium. Who do you have to thank for a podium finish in these final 3 races of the season?
I gotta hope. It's been fun racing with Jack and Noah, just kind of bouncing ideas off those guys. Then I gotta thank Dustin for fixing my car after last week. We tore it up 3 or 4 times. But yeah, it's been really fun. But more importantly, I want to thank you guys for putting this on. This has been really the only reason to look forward to Mondays. So that's been a cool turnaround the last couple weeks.
Hey, I'm glad we can make Monday a little bit better. This does make my Monday a little bit better, so I hope the same can be said throughout everybody in the league. But we got 2 races left this season. We're here at Slinger. 5 Flags next week, IRP to finish off the season. Which one are you looking forward to more, and why?
Honestly, they're 2 completely different racetracks. Like, I feel like I run good at IRP, and that's I think everyone loves IRP if you're from the Ohio, Indiana area. And I've been going up there a bunch, kind of watching Cody and Kevin and those guys test in the last 5 years. So I feel like I've watched someone that knows how to get around there good. And then 5 Flags is cool. I think that's going to turn into a really good race. Like if we'll end up a lane up or not. and just watching the Race for the Million, that seems like a really cool track.
Yeah, I think
So
it'll definitely. Oh, yeah.
So back to you asked me a question on to make a decision, and I don't really know, honestly. I think they're both going to be pretty darn cool.
You'll have to flip a coin and let us know. Let us know post race. But congratulations to you, Saban, on a third place run here at Slinger.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. Oh, we moved Cody. We might need Cody up in the broadcast booth. There we go. Cody's back. Saban's out of the broadcast booth. Cody, that would have been a really awkward interview if I tried to let you ask Jackson the next question and then you just weren't here. So let's get our second place finisher up into the broadcast booth. Jackson Masinko. Jackie Boy, P2. Got a copy?
How's it going?
Well, that one, I'm sweating here in the booth because it's hot in my room, but I am going to say that you guys down on the racetrack are probably sweating a little bit more than I am.
I don't know, dude. I think my room is just as hot. I need a damn window unit and 18 fans in here because I swear it's 100 degrees and I actually am dripping in sweat. So I think I'm rivaling you on that front. But no, even just the race in general, like it seems to be a theme. It clearly translates to real life. These tracks where you can't really attack. You can't really attack the throttle and drive it in there hard. You know, you kind of have to just be really methodical. That's just not my cup of tea. That's clearly not what fits me. And you can check that even in real life at Berlin and Toledo historically. So every time we come to one of these so far, whether it's been this or Southern National or Lanier or something, or even last week, like I'm just trying to scrape away with a solid finish. And luckily I got really good qualifying lap because I don't think I was faster than Bogus or Biden or Carter for that matter. Carter actually was really fast. I didn't see that coming until probably the last 30 laps. I just saw him knocking on the door. So I think I scraped by with one there and hopefully just can get to these big half miles and start hopefully extending my lead back on Catalan.
Yeah, and you were involved in some insane battles there with what seems like half the field for most of the second half in the race. Just take us through all the slide jobs and crossovers you had with the likes of Ibent and Bogus.
Well, kind of felt bad for Andrew actually for a second. I kind of just slid him out of frustration because of that first initial run. I felt really good. I felt like I wasn't abusing my stuff or anything, and I was running about a similar pace to Catalan and Bogus. So I was really happy with it. And then after that first caution, it just, I don't know if I was just running the wrong line, if I didn't scrub my tires, and they did, but I felt like I could not turn after that caution. So that really frustrated me because I went from leading the first 40 to in third, almost fourth. So I threw a mean unwarranted slider on Andrew. Thankfully, he checked up and was actually smart about it because clearly I wasn't. And then with Saban, it was really just, I knew he was so good on the bottom. I mean, he ran through the pack again after getting spun. He ran through the pack on the bottom, and actually just starting back there, I guess. But I could tell how good he was down there, but the bottom off of 4 is just so tricky. I felt like if I could just keep myself in the middle to higher lane and just keep on getting a run off, I was going to be okay. Towards the end, it started getting a little sketchy. I think Bogus and I bumped a couple times into 1 and into 3, just trying to squeeze each other for all the room we had. But he kept it really clean. Saban kept it really clean. I tried my best apart from that one stupid slider. And it was a fun race. It was stressful, but it's never fun when you're under fire from everybody. It's more fun when you're on the attack.
Yeah, and looking to the real life side, you're making your NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut Friday night at IRP with Team Rayum, and just how excited are you for it?
Very excited. I can't wait. I just spent the last weekend at North Wilkesboro with them, so I was at the shop Wednesday, Thursday, at the racetrack Friday, Saturday, and it was a blast. Definitely made that itch to get in the car grow even more than it already is. So really excited to get there. I know Friday is going to be a long day with it being a one-day show, but we've had long days in racing before. I'm sure that'll be all right. And then just try and learn as much as I can, keep it clean. we've got two 500 Sprint Car Sim Series drivers in there. Shout out Jonathan Schaefer. Should be fun going up against him too.
Yeah, I mentioned that before the race started. It's going to be fun to watch that race because it's going to be like a race within the race within our own little league community. So I think that'll be cool to watch as well. But such an awesome opportunity for you. Excited to watch. I do have one question though. How confident in the race car, or I guess maybe not in the race car, but in the race track, are you feeling after? I'm sure you've done a couple laps in the sim.
Well, in the racetrack in real life, I'm pretty confident, just strictly because I'm so familiar with it from sprint cars and Silver Crown. On the sim, I feel like the trucks and their characteristics are pretty similar. I don't know if IRP is just that outdated on this simulator, on iRacing servers, but like I was doing some practice the other day, and I think I was like a second and a half faster than Lane Riggs' lap time there last year when he dominated. And hey, I don't think that's real. If it is real, then hell yeah, we're gonna have one heck of a show. But I don't think that's much to go off. So just trying to watch onboard footage and be as synchronized with that and with those driver inputs that I have kind of handed to me as I can. Even if that's not, technically the fastest way around an iRacing, trying to at least mimic that in the game and then translate that to real life when we get there.
I got you. Always interesting to hear how much more of a technical aspect some of these higher level drivers get, like what all goes into account. It's not just, we got in the car, we drove around the track, and we finished third. There's a lot that goes into it. So it's really cool to hear that.
There's a whole lot that goes into it, and I got to see it firsthand just last weekend. It's crazy. It's a whole different world, but I'm excited to take a step into it and hopefully have a successful showing on Friday night.
For sure. Well, before I let you go, Jackson, who do you have to thank for one, getting you to Indianapolis to the Truck Series and everybody that put that together, and who do you have to thank for P3 or P2 at Slinger?
It's the same people that I got to thank. In real life, my parents, my family in general, friends being a great support system. God for giving me the opportunity to drive race cars at what seems like week in, week out. I don't think I'm going to have a break for the next 6 weeks. So driving these awesome machines week in, week out. And then just all my partners, all my sponsors, JTM Food Group, Brockman Signs, William Lang & Sons Ironworks, Bergen Oil, American Scaffolding, J. Owens Wealth Planning, Ron's Roost, all of our team partners on the sprint car side, eCourse and Motorsport Oil, Redline Ace Graphics. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank now. Advanced Racing Suspensions. I'm sure I'm forgetting some. There's so damn many. I need a picture of my car so I can cheat. Honestly, I need a cheat sheet. But just so many people that make this possible and make my life a dream.
All right. Well, we are going to be cheering you on from the Lead the Pack iRacing League and all the 500 Sim Series guys. We're all going to be rooting for you. Good luck to you on Friday, but congratulations to you on P2 here tonight at Slinger.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, guys.
You too. Cody, P2 for Jackson Masinko. Man, it's going to be so fun watching him and Schaefer Friday night. I know that you and I are probably going to be busy at the racetrack, but in between our little moments at the racetrack, we're going to be tuned in.
Yeah, I'll actually be at Anderson this weekend working for Jared Owen and Rick Dawson and the track at the Redbud 400, new format for the Redbud this year. And super excited for that, but practice is Friday night, so unfortunately I won't be able to make it to the truck race at IRP. But before that, we have our winner here for the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series at Slinger, Zach Catalone. And Zach, I did your time there early, was able to take the lead there just before halfway, and after that, you were gone like the wind.
Yeah, I felt like coming into here I'd be pretty hooked up, and I've heard him say he's not the most comfortable at these smaller tracks, so I just kind of let them go early. And once the lane, lanes were switching weird. Like at one point the top was good, and then like all of a sudden just the bottom was just hooked up, and I never left it from there on out, and it just seemed to be the best line for me. Restart almost messed me up though. The box is all weird. Right, as soon as you get to turn 3, it'll throw the green, so Bogus almost jumped the star and got under me because of that. I was sleeping, so then I had to switch it up from there and go super early like I was in a super at Oswego.
Yeah, just how did
the restart zone here at Slinger? Ask Carson Brown about the restart here at Slinger. I think you and him kind of ran into the same issues there down into the corner. But still, you were able to put together a great race. When you were in the second spot, after letting Masinko go, like you said, you knew you had the speed. How do you discipline yourself to not overstep, to not push the issue and force a caution, put yourself and Masinko back in the back of the pack?
Honestly, it's probably just experience, and I think from the guy I've watched IRL my whole life, so I'm only just a fan. I've never raced in real life, but the guy I watch in real life at my home track, his whole life he's always been super patient to get to the front, never needed to make any stupid aggressive moves to get up there, and he'd always be there at the end and have more tire and go win. So that's how I've always tried to race people, and it seems to work.
Yeah, and you were talking about the lines changing there in the middle of the race. Just what does it take to be able to change lines and, I guess, figure out which line's going to be the better one as you go throughout the run?
Really just kind of got to feel it out. I like to never enter at the same spot as the guy ahead of me. I think that can cause stack ups. You could run into the guy, and you'll never really set up a pass to off the exit because you'll never get the better run. So I always like to go a lane higher, half a lane higher, trying stuff. And if they start going up top, I'll go below. Just if something ends up working, then I know, and then I got to try to set them up and get a run under them.
And then you got 2 races left in the 500 Sim Series season at Pensacola and IRP. Just how are you feeling?
Pretty good. They're probably my 2 best tracks with this car. I just have a bunch of laps in it because of the official.
I'm excited to see you and Masinko these final 2 races. You have a drop week to factor into things, and I'm going to try to have everything prepared as best as I possibly can for next week's race, so you guys know what you're getting into, or the next 2 races, I should say, before the championship race. But who do you have to thank for the victory here again in the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series, and what do you need to do to finish up the season?
Don't really have anybody to thank for me winning. Kind of just myself for driving, I guess. But of course, you guys for broadcasting and putting this whole thing on. I hope you guys, after the season, decide to do another one. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we definitely do another Sprint Car Series. I don't know if it's right away. I think we take some time off.
Oh no, yeah, definitely got to take a break.
We definitely do another Sprint Car Series down the road because there was a lot of traction. I know there was a lot of people that wanted to get into this that weren't able to just in time. But congratulations to you, Zach, on another victory this season, and we wish you the best of luck in the final 2 races in your battle with Jackson for the championship.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.
You too. Well, Cody, another victory this season for Zach Catalone. He looked like the fastest car there in the beginning, but Masinko shot out to the lead. I thought it was going to be pretty interesting there, but once Catalone got back out in front, Masinko did not have anything for him, and I thought Bybit was going to be able to get up there, but it looked like he may have stalled out as well. But great race here at Slinger. We saw some good racing throughout the field. We'll run through our final finishing results. Our top 3, we just talked to him: Zach Catalone, Jackson Masinko, Sabin Bybit. Carter Hollingsworth, best run of the season for the 28, finishes 4th, and Jonathan Schaefer rounds out the top 5 in the 91.
Yeah, Connor Knowlton able to work his way back up to 6th after a spin during the race. Last week's winner at Sobo, Christian Peterson, finishing 7th. Rylan Gray finishing 8th. We talked to him earlier in the broadcast. Tough break for Andrew Bogus. He finishes 9th after what would have been a podium run, and Noah Longyear rounding out the top 10.
In the 11th spot, it's Josh Batista, final car on the lead lap. Then rounding out our field, 16 laps down, it's Matthew Elzy Jr. In the 12th spot, 13th is Mitch Drunowski, 38 laps down. Then rounding out the field, Jeremiah Woods in the triple two finishes 72 laps down in the 14th spot. So that will do it for the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series at Slinger. We have 2 races left this season, Cody. 5 flags next week, IRP. 110 laps left this season. It feels like just a couple days ago we were at Anderson discussing this whole ordeal and thinking about the possibilities of it, and now we're just about to the end of it, which is pretty crazy. But I think we've got a pretty good foundation here. I think we got something good going.
Yeah, and it's 2 of the more exciting tracks on the schedule as well. First, at Five Flags Speedway, home of the Snowball Derby, and then we'll end the season the same way. We'll end the Real Life 500 Sprint Car Tour Series season on October 17th at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. So 2 great races left to come, and this season has flown by. It feels like we just were going green for race number 1 at North Wilkesboro not too long ago, and now we're 2 races away from crowning a first ever 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series champion.
Yeah, and we're going to have a good battle right down to the finish. I think it's going to go down to the final race between Masinko and Catalone. I'm excited to see it. I know you are too. We'll have to wait 2 weeks, though. We've got Pensacola next week, Five Flags Speedway, and then the Indianapolis Raceway Park on August 3rd to wrap things up. But thank you guys for watching the WD Broadcasting Network and tuning into the 500 Sprint Car Tour Sim Series. We'll be back next week at Five Flags. And if you're a fan of street stocks, we've got the Leave the Pack Street Stock Showdown tomorrow night, 75 laps at South Boston. That one's going to be a fun one. Don't miss that race. And until then, we'll see you guys next time. I'm your host, Winston Deal, alongside Cody Geyer with KG Media. Make sure to follow his page down in the description below. Check out my page as well. Check out the 500 Sprint Car Tour page. All the links in the description. All racing content for you guys weekly. So thank you guys for watching one more time. See you guys next time on the WD Broadcasting Network. Peace out.